the motor mount first. Alright.
Well, this is a first for me. I'm actually sitting down and relaxing while a couple of guys are pulling a motor out of an old Plymouth. That's usually me right there. I think I like this. So, where we left off last time was giving you the general outline. And now the wrenches are starting to turn. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is these guys actually pleasantly surprised me. We shot the first installment of this while Lamb Chop and I were working on Project Bottle Rocket. So I wasn't paying attention to what they were doing. And basically their mission was to just take the extraneous things off the engine, the things that are like non-specific or specific to that car, but not specific to the engine rebuild. Because obviously if you're not doing this on an 1863 Valiant, pulling the carburetor off or undoing this piece of linkage or that doesn't apply to you. So we figured, well, we won't bother with that. But one of the things that I wanted to stress was how before you even get started, working neatly is the most important thing. Being organized, having your tools laid out, having an area to set up your parts. Well, anyway, these guys surprised me because when I stopped and checked out what they were actually doing, they were right on target. Everything was organized. They pulled all of the parts off in a systematic fashion. They left the groupings of bolts with the parts as they took them off, exactly what you're supposed to do. And that's, if you're going to start on something like this, that's the foundation of it, right? You have to have a clean, organized work area. You know, a lot of guys are sloppy, they just rip stuff off, throw it in piles. You're shooting yourself in the foot before you even get started. Work slow, work easy, work methodical. So, come. So you see what they've done here? They set up a table. They've got their tools laid out here. Here's their parts. You know, this is, and all this table is just a piece of plywood and an old base. I mean, I'm sure you can rob a patio table or whatever, you know, a couple of slow horses. But make yourself a nice surface like this so you stay organized. Generally, I like to put the bigger, heavier parts, like the intake manifolds like they have over here, stick that underneath. I'll get to that. But anyway, they're moving along nicely. So, what do we have left to pull this thing out before we can pull it out?
Right now, just unbolt the motor mounts and unbolt it from the trans, put a chain on it, put it on the cherry picker.
Boy, that was fast. All right. So, pulling the motor. Let's come around to this side because it's easier to. All right. Obviously, we've got to get the car up in the air. So, you don't have to go crazy high, just high enough you get comfortably underneath and undo whatever you've got to do, the motor mounts, transmission. Now, here's the thing, right? Unless you're swapping the motor and trans or it's a complete leave the transmission in the car. Taking the tranny out with the engine adds an element of complication and chaos that you don't need, right? Leave the transmission in the car. There's another benefit to leaving the tranny in the car. You don't have to take the hood off. Little known fact, every car is designed so that the long block assembly can be removed with a common cherry picker. The height of the engine from the valve cover to the oil pan is exactly the distance right here. So if you leave the transmission in the car, you don't have to pull the hood off. On these slants, it's a long engine, and you take them about 3/4 of the way out, and then you turn them sideways, and they just fall right out of the opening. So, you know, keep that in mind. So, fluids drained, and they're pulling off the transmission bolts now and the motor mount bolts. So, I'll let them turn some wrenches, and I'm going to go sit down and relax.
That probably went too tight. Now I can't get my socket in there.
So, in case you notice, we always have a lot of background music happening when we shoot these videos. And that's because the storage unit that we're in, well, we're loaded with bands, so they're always practicing at one time or another. So, say hi, guys.
Hey. Hi.
Okay, so that's it, music.
Clean the hell out of this engine bay when I get this engine out of here as well.
Yeah.
This ground goes back here.
For the exhaust, yeah. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, these were all the transmission,
Right.
and then those were the
Those are the two
starter
motor mounts.
transmission-ish.
Bring it out from behind the tire.
Yeah.
Cut the holes in the
Right where your
low bar AM
where
is,
your
but at the
Mopar
bottom.
sticker is, yeah.
Bottom.
Or below it.
All right, so essentially everything is unbolted now and it's time for the extraction. All right, two things. Okay, so obviously this is a Slant 6. If you're working with a Slant 6, these two holes right here in the head are the balance point. So if you take the motor up straight from here, it comes up straight, right? If you're doing this with a V8, you want to use, I mean, obviously the chain is across, the intake manifold is the most common way. But if you can get one of those lift plates that bolts in place to the carburetor, that makes life a lot easier. And you can like move it front and back and tilt it however you have to. But anyway, on this particular engine, this is how we're doing this. All right, now, leaving the transmission in the car. All right, grab the jack, right? Come this way. This is fairly universal, all right? So, before you start to lift the engine out of the car, you want to lift the transmission up as high as it'll go. You want to get the transmission to where it's actually touching the tranny tunnel. They're all designed like this. This is the way, it's like one of them universal things. So, all right, slide the jack underneath the tranny. Go right in.
Go right on top of the bell housing.
You can hit the bell housing, better off hitting the transmission. All right, we under there? Is it lined up?
You can go back, Jamie.
Back?
Where are you gonna put it?
All right.
Okay.
Right where the drain plug is.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay. Stop when you start to lift when the car actually starts to lift up. It's attached to the transmission, the bell housing, but you're going to pull the flywheel out.
Gotcha,
so the flywheel can't pass through that.
Oh, so those gotta come out.
Yeah, everything there has got to come out. And if you look underneath, there's a couple of 3/8 bolts. See straight down? And there should be two of them on, there's like one in the middle and there's one on that side.
3/8.
I got one of them out. I didn't get the one on that side. So there's one on that side as well.
Yeah, so throw that stuff with the starter so all of those bolts are grouped together. gonna work. And this,
Start putting the pin in it.
shorten this up.
Okay.
We're not gonna put this pin back in it?
No.
It'll be all right?
Yeah.
It should be.
You know, it'll make for a good video. How's that sound?
Not good for the oil.
I don't want to smash my car
I
up.
don't want to smash it either, but I think it'd be viral.
Fuck that. This is my daily driver. I don't get nothing out of being viral. This is my baby.
People all over the world will be watching your motor come down and smash your grill.
Oh, good lord, I'd die. I'd fucking die. The other side.
You turn on the other side here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it turning now?
Yep.
Okay.
What size is it?
3/4 should be.
3/4 9 millimeter.
Yeah, I got it on this
Yeah.
side.
Oh, did you?
I generally just leave these things all finger tight because they're always getting adjusted. And once the weight's on it, nothing's gonna move. So grab it to right about there. Nope. Are you videoing me being a spaz here? This is.
Yeah.
Just throw the nut on there, finger tight. Okay. Right about there, right, start bringing it up. Okay, lift up on the motor here. Right there. All right, do we have anything still attached?
Let me crawl under there and double check.
It's separated
It's
from.
catching, like the flywheel's catching the bottom of the transmission housing.
No.
If
You know what I'm
It's right on
saying?
the bottom.
Like, see how it's lipped right there?
Oh, okay, yeah, gotta take that cover off.
this the bottom cover. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, is that covered?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5. Right here, you got 4 or 5 half-inch bolts underneath that hold that cover to the
I
bottom of the
see.
bell
Yeah,
housing.
yeah, okay.
5/8.
Hey, Jamie,
Yeah.
that socket's on the ground over there. It's under the arm of the...
Is that what you need?
half inch. Yeah,
5/8.
half inch. You want to go over the other side and I'll hand it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take that bolt.
So throw all the bolts in the cover and just slide it under the car behind the jack. See it because it's out of the way.
Here, where's that bolt?
All right. Okay, we got everything this time, right?
I believe so.
Let her rip. Jack up on the motor, just hang out. Okay. Boom. All right, now bring the motor up some. Go ahead, come up. All right, hang on. Let's put a can or something under there.
Back corner.
You want to keep your spillage to a minimum. All right. Now keep coming up. Once this balancer clears, you're ready to support. We're going to turn it. And you see exactly how this is. Look, clutch is right up against the firewall. This is right up against the ready to support. Okay, and now we're going to turn it sideways. Okay, start pulling back.
Just up a little
more.
bit.
That's it. And we're out. So, the only other thing you want to do right now before you take the engine off the lift or anything is every engine has got drain plugs in the block. So even though we drained the cooling system and obviously we left half a gallon on the floor over here, there's still going to be a significant amount of antifreeze in the engine. Every engine has a drain plug someplace at the bottom of the water jackets. So you want to find that drain plug, and it's right here on this one. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. Okay, it's a 9/16. So you want to get a 9/16 socket, put it on a 1/2-inch drive. All right. Oh, I guess we lost all the water when we tilt the motor back, lift it up the front. No, leave that out for a minute.
Yeah.
Lift the motor from the back to the front lever. Yeah. All right, we're empty. Well, pretty much. Oh, there you go. Now, given the amount of time that it took for that water to actually make it back, I'd say there's a lot of sludge probably in the cooling system of this thing.
There was in the radiator when we let it out. It was pretty murky.
See if you can tilt the motor this way a little bit. This way. So, yeah, you want to get as many liquids out of this thing as possible now because you're going to make a mess any place you put it. Also, we want to get this oil filter off now, too. Because we don't have even the most basic oil filter wrench here. Huh. Come on.
Around there pretty tight, huh?
Okay. So that's it. The motor's extracted. And now the next step is to get this mounted on some kind of stand. We want to be aristocrats about this and mount it on a stand instead of just doing it on the floor.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So we're going to get this thing mounted on a stand, and the next step is the tear down. So when are we going to do that?
Start Friday.
Friday? That's it. So we'll see you guys Friday then. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.